Hi, Filina. My name is Ellen, and I will be correcting this set of essays for you today. Let's take a look at what you wrote. Temperature variation in the Philippines. Let's see what you had to say here. Okay. The graph gives information about the temperature in the Philippines in January 2015. So you've got some problems with articles here. You didn't need the here or here, but you did need it in the Philippines there. There are two clear trends visible. Only at 12 p.m., the average temperature rate was higher than 30 degrees, varying from 29.9 to 33 degrees. All right, you didn't need the respectively here because it would have been okay if you had said only at 12 and 3 and then 29 to 9 to 33 respectively. That would have been okay. But since there's no second thing here, you don't need to say respectively. So just get rid of it. The highest temperature was noticed on the 4th of January, and the lowest happened on the 28th. All right, so I want you to be careful here because you've actually included a bit of data in your overview, which is not really recommended because then there's little that differentiates the overview from a detailed paragraph. What the overview is supposed to do is essentially tell us the main thing that really sticks out. So all you really needed to talk about here was say that the highest temperatures were consistently at 12 p.m. and the lowest were at 6 a.m. And that's really it. You don't need to say anything else, okay? So let's continue. Conversely, now you wouldn't have needed conversely if you had done what I suggested. You would have just begun with further details. So grammatically, you can't say this all the rest temperature rates. It should just be the remaining temperatures did not, this is the wrong word, surpass 23 degrees over the entire month. The number stayed stable during the entire month at 6 a.m., 6 p.m., and 12 a.m. However, the lowest temperature was on the 1st of January at 12 p.m., falling down to 16 degrees. Okay. The temperature at 6 a.m. didn't change significantly during the whole month and experienced minor changes from 20 to 22 degrees. Okay. The most daily note, that doesn't make sense. The most daily noticeable changes. What does that mean? We're 6 p.m. I think you're trying to say that the greatest variation, yeah, I think that's what you mean. The greatest variation occurred at 6 p.m., let's see, with temperatures from 18 to 22 degrees. That works, okay? Overall, with the exception of 12 p.m., the temperatures in Philippines in June 2015 didn't change a lot. The difference between temperatures was relatively low, ranging from 18 to 23 degrees. Okay, now I'm confused. I thought that this was your overview. It looks like your overview is here. And so it looks like in the end this was a detailed paragraph. It's partially because you had this. There were two clear trends visible. So that confused me a little bit. That's something that people would typically write for an overview. So I got to be honest with you, other than the grammar that I had to change around, I didn't really understand the way you organized this. Yeah, I wasn't really clear. I can suggest some ways that I think might have been valuable. I probably would have just started with saying that the highest temperature throughout the entire month was at 12 p.m. It ranged from whatever that figure is, it looks like about maybe 23, a low of 23 to a high of whatever that figure is. It looks like 33 maybe. sure, 34, um, throughout the month. And then in contrast, the lowest temperature was this one at 6 a.m., which I'm not really clear. What is that? It's like negative something, but it's not really clear on the graph. And then you probably could have just talked about this. What could you say about this? Well, one thing that you could say is that the remaining times, and name what they are, 6 p.m., 6 p.m., 12 a.m., and it looks like there's another time here, but I'm really rather confused what that means. All ranged between 15 to 25 degrees. The biggest variation was for 12 a.m. with a low of this and a high of this, and then say what it was in that date. And that's pretty much it. I got to tell you honestly, I'm kind of confused. Like I said, I'm not really sure about what this one means right here. So it's not entirely clear to me here. So that's kind of how I would have organized it. I felt like you kind of flip-flopped a little bit. So, like, let me show you what I mean. You kind of flip-flopped here. So this made sense to me. And then all of a sudden you were talking about the lowest temperature at 12 p.m. So I don't know. I was kind of confused about the way you organized that paragraph. It is important that each paragraph has a central idea and that there's some sort of unifying factor. So, like I said, I decided to do it like this. I decided to have my information organized by time. So I did the 12 p.m. time. And like I said, you could have talked about the high and the low there. You could have even mentioned what date, but there's nothing really that sticks out. So no, just the high and the range. Okay, so the range here. And then, like I said here, I would talk about the range, but then I would talk about the fact that this has the most variation, that 12 a.m. one. So that's pretty much it. Why don't we move on to your task 2? But again, the grammar needed a little work. Some of the vocabulary, like we don't talk about temperature rates, we just talk about temperatures, so that would have been more appropriate. All right, let's take a look at your task 2, which is about international marketing. Let's see what you said there. Yes, there is no doubt that we all live in the global world. Wait, what did I just do? Sorry. There is no doubt that we all live in the global world. All right, we don't start sentences with and, so please avoid this. Just make it one sentence. There is no doubt that we all live in the global world, and there are a lot of companies that work and sell their services and goods worldwide. As a part of their selling strategy, comma, they give advertisements. Well, no, they send advertisements to different countries. That would have been better. Or they maybe publish advertisements in different countries. That would have been okay. It may be considered invasive by governments of some countries, while others react on that with interest. Okay, that's fine, but this was a little awkward. While others react to this with interest. I believe that in the modern world it is impossible and even harmful to stay on the sidelines of the global economy. Okay, fine. So let's see how you develop that. Nowadays, success, without that the, success depends, first of all, on the level of technologies. Thanks to sharing ideas into various spheres of our lives, we have the opportunity to learn something new every day. International marketing is not an exception. New forms of advertising shown by global companies give the chance to find out, create something new for all the rest. It is the easiest way for local enterprises to understand the latest trends in their field of activity. All right, this is nice, but it's a little vague. There's really not much that's very specific here. You haven't really done a lot of developing, and this, I think it wasn't specific, okay? So, did you talk about culture? Did you talk about language? Did you talk about it being a cheap form of education? No. So, you kind of just scratched the surface. You really just kind of, you just scratched the surface. You didn't really get to any detail. And that's what I wanted here. More development, more detail. More specific information related to this task. I kind of feel like if you had changed some of the words around, this paragraph could have been about, many different essay topics. So just be careful with that. An examiner who sees that might think that this is kind of like a memorized response, and you definitely don't want that, okay? Let's move on. On the other hand, a lot of governments consider the presence of international companies on the local markets as an intrusion into the inside businesses and try to prevent gaining a market share by them. All right, that's a little awkward here, this part. So here you were fine. They consider the presence of international companies on the local markets as an intrusion into the inside businesses. I think you mean domestic businesses, and try to prevent their gaining a market share. Their, THEIR. Or try to prevent them from gaining a market share. Even better. By doing that, they believe they can help local businesses to keep growing. However, this may lead to a slowdown of the economic growth of the country and this may lead to a slowdown of economic growth of the country and a decrease in the interest to invest in the country. Okay, you needed to really support that. I think you've got some great ideas. They're on topic. A lot of this is really nice, but you should have developed it. You kind of left this very interesting statement about this slowdown of the economy that I thought you really should have developed. There was more to say about it, but you needed to explain to us the how, the why, and just give us a little more information. So nice ideas, but they're just not fully flushed out. They're not fully developed. All in all, international marketing without that the is a way to share ideas, again no the, and to make global economic growth, again no the and no al. The time is ripe for many governments to realize that there are more advantages and drawbacks from the presence of worldwide companies in the market. So get rid of the, and this should be in, not on. All right, so I liked a lot of what you did here. I like a lot of it, but some of the grammar is a little, there's some inaccuracy. And then some of this needed to be developed a little bit more. But I definitely do see some nice elements of your writing. We just really need to tweak some things and polish it up a little bit so you can get to that score that you need. I see that you've taken the IELTS in the past, just saw that now. So yeah, I'd like to see more work from you. I think that together, if you kind of overcome some of these errors in your writing, that we can get you to where you need to be. So let's see if we can get you an essay package or get you enrolled in the online course so you can really understand how you can develop your answers better. And I'm sure that you will find it really, really just totally valuable information to help you prepare. Okay? I'm looking forward to that. I hope to see more of your work. So lots of luck to you.